Welcome back to another episode. Today we're diving into a crucial aspect of project management, risk management. It's something that can make or break a project, but it's often misunderstood or underestimated. What's your take on risk management, and why is it so important?
Honestly, I think a lot of people overlook it, especially in the early stages of a project. But managing risks is essential because even a well-planned project can face unexpected challenges. If you're not prepared for those risks, you might end up derailing the entire project.
Absolutely. It's like sailing, right? You can have a solid ship, but if you don't account for the storm, you're in trouble. But what exactly are these risks? Are they only related to things like budget and timeline?
Good question. Risks aren't just about budget or time, though those are definitely critical factors. Risks can also be technical, like a new technology not working as expected, or external factors, like market changes or political instability. It's about identifying anything that could disrupt the smooth execution of the project.
So it's not just the usual cost overruns or delays, but also a broader set of unpredictable elements. How do you actually go about identifying these risks in the first place?
One of the first steps is conducting a thorough risk assessment. You can gather input from the project team, stakeholders, and even external experts. Tools like brainstorming sessions, SWOT analysis, and risk registers are super helpful in spotting potential risks early on. It's all about thinking ahead and trying to visualize worst-case scenarios.
And once you identify those risks, what comes next? Do you just sit back and hope they don't happen?
Definitely not. You need to assess the likelihood and impact of each risk. Then you come up with mitigation strategies. For example, if there's a risk of a supplier delay, you could have backup suppliers lined up. Or, if a new software tool is critical to the project but untested, you might run a smaller pilot project to test it first.
That's a smart approach. So it's really about being proactive, not just reactive. But I imagine there's a balance, right? You don't want to overcomplicate things or worry too much about every tiny possibility.
Exactly. Risk management is about finding that sweet spot. You want to prepare for the major risks that could derail the project but not obsess over every minor issue. Overmanaging risks can also eat up valuable resources and time, which is counterproductive.
Right. It's like trying to build a fortress for every little thing. At some point, it becomes unsustainable. Now, let's talk about the human element. How does communication factor into risk management?
Communication is key. Everyone needs to be on the same page about potential risks and how to deal with them. Regular updates, risk review meetings, and clear documentation help ensure that if something goes wrong, everyone knows what the plan is. It's important to create a culture where people feel comfortable flagging risks as soon as they spot them.
That makes sense. If your team is comfortable speaking up early, you can address risks before they turn into major issues. So let's wrap up with this. What would you say is the biggest mistake people make when it comes to risk management?
The biggest mistake is probably underestimating risks or assuming everything will go according to plan. You can never predict everything, but you can prepare. Not planning for risk is the same as planning for failure. It's better to have a solid risk management strategy in place and never need it than to need it and not have it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Risk management isn't about eliminating uncertainty, it's about being ready for it. Thanks for the great insights today.
Of course, always a pleasure.
And thank you to everyone tuning in. Remember, it's not about predicting the future, it's about managing it. We'll see you next time.